Live from the Heroes Acre here in Chesterville. As you have said, many of our well-known South Africans have been laid to rest in this particular cemetery, as you were mentioning just a few of them, Blaine. And also, if I can add onto that list, I can tell you that the former Bafana goalkeeper Senzo Meyiwa is one of those people who were buried here. We are expecting now, any moment from now, Blaine, to have the coffin arriving here for the final and third session of this particular burial, because you would understand that the in the morning we saw the family which opened this whole entire program with a prayer, and then there was a procession to the Inkosi Albert Luthuli Convention Center, where the president of the country, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, addressed mourners there, describing the late deputy minister as a person who was very committed, as a person who knew exactly what was required of her as a deployee in the cabinet. Among the people that I've been able to spot from where I am, Blaine, I've seen the Deputy Minister of Home Affairs, Njabulo Nzuza, as well as the Director General in the presidency. At the moment, Blaine, the mourners are expected to make their way into this particular venue where we are. I can just tell you that from where I am, I can see quite a number of people making their way into this venue. There are two vehicles making their way here as well. There were quite a number of, obviously, Blaine, of ministers and deputy ministers and senior cabinet officials who took part in sending off paying their last respect to the former deputy minister of energy and mineral resources, Bavelile Hlongwa. At the moment, we're just waiting for those dignitaries, Blaine, to arrive so that now the final program can then commence. Blaine?
Simphiwe, you were covering the service this morning at the family's home. They had a family prayer there, but a number of people, friends, families, paid tribute to Bavelile Hlongwa this morning. From what you heard, what did you gauge in terms of what sort of person she was?
Certainly, Blaine, quite a lot was said by dignitaries who attended the funeral about the character of the late deputy minister. But what the family basically said, Blaine, was that she was a very caring person. She was a person who loved people, a person who was very brave as well, because you would understand that many of her comrades have been saying throughout the week that she was not a shy person when it comes to expressing her views. She was very forthright, and she knew very well where she stood on matters. Even the president, when I spoke to him yesterday, he said that he actually learned a lot from the late deputy minister. In your visuals there, Blaine, I'm sure you can see from quite a distance, the Minister of Police, Mr. BHEKI, is also one of the mourners who have gathered here to pay their last respect to what has been described as a fallen hero where we are, Blaine.
Simphiwe, just give us a sense. The cortege has left the Inkosi Albert Luthuli International Convention Center, headed towards you. How long would it take on a normal day?
Well, Blaine, the drive would take approximately 10 to 15 minutes because I presume they won't be driving very fast. But as you can imagine, it's been almost 10 minutes since the cortege left the Inkosi Albert Luthuli Convention Center. So any minute from now, Blaine, they will be arriving here. Already we've seen quite a number of dignitaries as well as close family members who will be participating in this final send off to the former Deputy Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Bavelile Hlongwa. Blaine?
Simphiwe, just talk to us about the build-up to this funeral and some of the tributes that were paid. I see the Police Minister BHEKI there. Maybe we could have a bit of a chat with him. We'll try, I guess, to maybe grab the minister. But look, some of the tributes that have been paid to Bavelile Hlongwa was that she was a revolutionary, a visionary. She was young, and vibrant in terms of pushing for the rights of women as well. And some of the guests that Hlongwa had talking about her approach to gender-based violence and how if one of her friends was male, was accused of rape, she's more likely to believe the female, the victim, and then she'll ask questions. So it gives you a sense of how much she wanted to fight against gender-based violence. Simphiwe.
Well, certainly, Blaine, the former Deputy Minister has been described as a person who stood firm in terms of fighting and advocating for the rights of women. I'm now going to try and disturb the Minister of Police, Honorable BHEKI. Let me just disturb you, say we are live on SABC News. Let me not be rude and interrupt you with the Director General. Thank you very much for affording us this opportunity here to bid farewell to a person who has been described as a very vocal and a very principled leader of the African National Congress. Your impressions of the person?
Well, we really lost big time as a government and the African National Congress. I have a picture on the last meeting in the extended cabinet where she was really pushing very hard until one received the message of the crazy way she died. As maybe the Minister of Mineral and Resources have said that they lived the crazy life, she died the crazy life. She crosses the road just to offer an assistance, she never comes back. She was an activist until the end. Very young, dynamic, creating both leaderships in government and the ANC. The nation is really lost.
In terms of what the current leaders of the ANC youthly can learn from the life of Bavelile Hlongwa?
Very selfless, but should mate, as Obatabile said, if you are not prepared to give time to take her on, don't start. She will take you on. She doesn't matter how long. One thing that she refused to do is to concede when you discuss with her, and at every time she will speak something sense, and you don't know where did she get this cascade of too many ideas and senses and all that. The young people at the present moment, maybe they fail this war of engagement, the war of ideas, and then they begin to insult, they begin to get in terms of the fighting, and in terms of not really using their brain to fight their battles. She didn't fall in that category. She was fully prepared to take you on, and I repeat, would have been very much ready to discuss with her everything since academically sound, historically sound, a young woman, dynamic and everything. I just hope that her losses won't be a bigger gap than has happened already. We'll be able to get other people that will work on her space. Difficult will be, but we need more young people that will take her space, especially women under these trying times where women themselves are under siege, where the violence against women. So you need those people that from women themselves will say it can't happen, enough is enough.
Minister, let me just interrupt you and talk about what has been developing this morning. In Isipingo, we've had reports that 9 attempted robbers were killed during a shootout between police this morning. Your reaction to what happened this morning?
Well, I was given that report, but it's not explained to me, so I would not love to get engaged and give my ideas before I have a fully briefing on the matter. But I'm told that those were known criminals, well prepared to go and cause whatever trouble that they will cause there. Look at the kind of the weapons, the AK-47s that were there. So I think police here were well prepared for the operation, having been told initially. I'm waiting for a full report, especially from the Provincial Commissioner. Maybe they will make the full comment. But for now, it looks like police have a very successful operation.
Mr. Cele, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
There was the Minister of Police, Mr. BHEKI Cele, taking us through some of the lessons that he has learned from the life of the late Deputy Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources, Bavelile Hlongwa. Also commenting on the developing story which happened this morning where 9 attempted robbers died during a shootout with police in Isipingo area. For now, Blaine, I'm not able to hear you. I've lost comms with you, so I'm going to throw back to you and say once the proceedings get underway here, we will definitely be on the ground reporting as and when it happens. It's back to you, Blaine, in Johannesburg.
All right, Simphiwe, thank you very much indeed. Simphiwe Makhanya coming to us live from the Heroes Acre. It's the gravesite, it's the final resting place for Bavelile Hlongwa. We'll go back to him when the cortege actually arrives. But